It's really ridiculous. Now I really want to actually send a petition to anyone who has, ability to make a decision. I'm not really, arguing for my side of the story only by being a really stubborn dictator. No, take a glance at it. This is really kind of, the tax package that was like, I'm not really so sure, how it was like, but I'm 100% certain there was, one tiny corner, and it has been actually called Aphrodite. I saw that this is really the box, called Aphrodite. I really remember it. And on top of it, there was a tiny circle, which I actually didn't really see. Then there was a pomegranate, one full-blown pomegranate, full-sized pomegranate, and the other was a half-cut with a juicy red beads. They were actually, flaunting of its juiciness and a sweetness that might, it could be, immediately perceived as a pomegranate. And it was also accompanied with the letter, which is as a pomegranate. I definitely saw these, alphabetic letters, which clarifies, the type of the fruit later, not before her mentioning. And on the bottom of it, there is a mango, which were also depicting the, actual fruits of a mango. I really remember that. But the problem is, I would actually be such a myopic person who actually jumped to conclusions really quickly. So I actually didn't see, what's been on top of this, box. I mean, I really kind of wish we could have this, boxes still, available. But if you ever actually, listen to my side of the story, my mom could have probably testified when they actually brought the Turkish delight shortly, almost like 2 days before this incident. I already actually mentioned it by looking into what has been actually said of pomegranate. Oh, you actually brought Sungyu flavor. I said that to my mom. But without even actually, unwrapping this box of Turkish delight, I really remember this dessert that I have never tried before. I only saw on TV, but that was the first time when they actually brought this up. And I was really still very much shocked to witness this type of systematic bias, and prejudice shared by, those people who would never believe in my English ability for whatever reason. They just really couldn't accept the fact that, my ability to speak multiple languages could never be compatible with my intelligence according to their biased estimation. I'm so sick and tired of dealing with them. You know what? I'm not actually, arguing for my side of the story. I'm not really saying that I'm the only one who's been actually, holier than thou type of a figure who could have, the moral highway. But it's time for you to make the decision. My mom can actually, clearly give a testimony that I was not at all actually wasting 1 second by actually, accepting this, package of Turkish delight. I immediately said that by looking into the word pomegranate. I said, oh, you actually brought Songyumat. I said that. But the problem is, this Aphrodite, soft bar, there has been a significant chasm between two different pictures. On top of it, it was a pomegranate. You know what? It's not really a black and white picture. It's a full-blown and full-colored, such an illustrated picture with the, two pomegranates. I think at least 2 pomegranates are there. One was, the full size of pomegranates that has never been opened up, and the other is really the half-cut pomegranate with the beads on it. I really remember that. But the problem is that it has also been accompanied with the letters calling pomegranate. I saw it. But the problem is, I'm actually really kind of a person who would be really clumsy, who can immediately actually, make conclusions by jumping to conclusions, right? I actually only saw what's been on bottom. It says the mango. Oh, this is really the mango flavor or a mango scented salt bars. I really actually thought that way. They said that they actually purchased this package at the local convenience store. That's what they said. I don't really understand what they were talking about, because I never actually wasted 1 single second to say that arthritis or glaucoma or even actually a pomegranate. Excuse me, you are actually greatly mistaken. I'm extremely strong with the English vocabulary. Why is it so? Because, it has a Latin origin. They are so deeply associated with, German or French. I'm not lying. These are all Latin words if you don't really understand that. Glaucoma is is really the yellowish color. That's, in Latin. If you ever actually want me to mention the cataract, in Latin means waterfall. It's a waterfall of a whitening. That's the real reason you can never actually see it, as if you've been actually, completely, shut down with a murky shield. Yeah, I'm not lying. It's really easy. I feel really bad. People are really not buying this because they're also equally biased. I'm actually more than happy to come out and have a face off with them. Because, how many times I've been actually unfairly treated because of their, resistance. I'm actually really sick and tired of explaining every single thing to them. Now it's time for me to actually say that I'm actually really done with, giving out an answer in Korean, because you know what? You're not in the first place a legitimate figure who can actually make a judgment on my English, or, make a decision on my, stance. I don't really want to actually deal with them because it's really kind of sickening. It's not about language, because it has been written. My, sister had fainted a smile on her face, saying that, oh, you don't actually understand the pomegranate because there is a word pomegranate, but you didn't actually mention this one. Excuse me, I was really kind of, that hasty not to even actually see the entirety of the picture. It's not because of, the pomegranate. That was such a difficult word that I really don't recognize. I don't really need to repeat it. It's really stupid. Because, even if you actually don't know a pomegranate, you can at least take a look at this picture. That could actually give you a clear understanding what could be expected as a Seongnu. You know what? It's really stupid that she would actually, assume that kind of idea, because I saw that, a smile, that, luck. You would never actually enjoy that kind of, laugh-handed smile per se. In English we probably call it a laugh-handed compliment and laugh-handed, smile. That luck. There's something out there that has never been actually mentioned, but something is definitely on the front, right? It's really kind of disgusting. People actually around me, they have a tendency to actually, push me into that corner. I'm actually, so done with it. I would never accept this kind of harassing. And I'm actually so done with it. If they ever actually ask me how that should be called in English or in Korean, I don't want to answer you. Because, technically I can actually say in English or in German really quicklich. Apfelgranate. Warum ist das so? Weil Pommer im Latein, das heißt Pommerapfel. Und der Granate, wie eine Granate-Munition, diese wird eingeworfen. Das heißt, der Apfelgranate, ganz einfach. Wenn ich eine mehrere Erfahrung mit der Deutschen haben könnte, dann diese Vokabeln wird verstärkt und ratifiziert, fortgesetzt. Das meinte, diese würde ein bisschen schwer zu eliminieren oder zu kollabieren. Ja, wie schwer sie wirklich versuchen wollen. Im Moment, diese wird es sehr schwer abzubauen oder abgebaut zu werden. Leider nicht der Fall. I feel really awkward because you know what? Every single time, I still actually can't forget this one. Because you know what? If there was anyone who actually watched what I had it done, I immediately actually said that, when my parents actually brought this, Turkish delight, I said on the spot, the moment upon receiving this package, I said that, oh, this must be Seongnu. Because I actually saw this letter, pomegranate, and it's really the same. No, it's never been a week. This is really a ridiculous argument. I don't really actually need to talk in this way. I'm not really the heavy-handed person. I'm really quiet. Because you know what, I can actually, do the things that, way that I should actually do really quickly. But you know what, forget about this Korean. I don't want to deal with the Korean people. I don't want to deal with the Korean language. Because, they're equally biased. They want me to be in that way. No, I've never been a weak person. I can actually give an answer in German really quickly. Afroganata. But I don't really know how to say it in Korean. That's it. But the thing is, in my entire life, I've never forgotten, ever since I actually learned French, why, a palm should be palm. Palm means, apple. Palm means an apple and a grenade. And a grenade, if there is an ammunition and weapon that is called a grenade. I was never been forgotten. But, my sister is really kind of crazy who would actually believe that. I would be so stupid enough to, then, if I were truly a non to pomegranate, then why would I ever wanted to mention mango? Don't you not actually think that this kind of mentioning one type of item would reveal my ignorance and I would have remained quiet? Don't you not actually think that that would be much greater than just simply bringing up one tiny article on the spot? These are really kind of things that should actually be re-examined. How, stupidly they are equally biased. They're really biased and they're also prejudiced because they are actually, in favor of believing that my capacity or intelligence would be so limited that I would have never actually known it. But the thing is, I really wish I could actually, find this, Aphrodite. Is there anyone who actually lives in Greece? If you ever actually spot this, Aphrodite soft bar, then you have to actually, find it. Because there is a picture of pomegranate. There are, unmistakably pomegranates. There are two of them. One is really the full-blown motion with, you know what, its head, you know, somewhat, you know, like a crest. It has been like this. And the other one with, you know, half caught with, you know, bees, radishy bees, you know what, that would be the favor of mine, because I've already actually wanted to have it when I actually moved to Germany, because Turkish imported pomegranates are very high quality. That's really the reason I wanted to have it. And you know what, there was a picture of mangoes. I saw them. But the problem is, you know, my sister was very much, you know, prejudiced to assume that I was not actually non to this in a pomegranate, so I only actually mentioned mango. If there were actually, you know, a case, then, you know, I could have probably have, you know, extracted the fact from by looking into the picture. That could be possible. If I were truly a non to word pomegranate, then I could have clearly, you know, I could have, you know, taken a hint from this, you know, fully illustrated, such a colorful and a poignant picture. That would actually be unmistakable for something else. Even if you had a lowest common sense, it could always actually be the pomegranate, not really apples. I mean, I'm actually, you know, asking for a chance to be rejudged and re-examined underneath the, you know, the standard that could be acceptable. In light of this revelation, I'm more than happy to actually, you know, challenge their understanding. They're really stupid, because, you know what, I actually understand the shepherd crest. I understand that. And a daikon, I've already actually mentioned, I'm not really the kind of person who have to actually repeat these words. Excuse me, that's really the ridiculous argument. I would only learn these kind of words, but I don't really know how that should be called in Korean. That was really the deal. Most of English words that I learned, I've never actually forgot that, but, you know, I forgot them? No, I have never forgot them. Most of them. Yeah, most of them I have never. I'm not lying. I have a very vivid memory. You know, my memory functions really super well. Tell the truth, it's really the case. You know, I've already actually mentioned this so many different times. But the thing is, you know what, at the time when I was staying in the United States, I never actually possessed a single copy of the Korean English dictionary or English Korean dictionary. So I had no idea. Even I should learn the liturgy or ecumenical, you know, these kind of, you know, Christian church-oriented words. But I still have no idea how that should be called, how those letters should actually be pronounced, how those should actually be, you know, when interpreted. I don't know. If I ever experienced this kind of setback, and they actually said that, you know, my English is really bad quality. Excuse me, is there any kind of a rule in this whole universe that someone else's English should be judged by the lanes of, you know, or scope of other language like Korean? Is there any rule? I've never even heard about that. I mean, I cannot actually take this anymore. Please, you know, hire a judge who can actually, you know, overview the system, because, you know what, I've never had any difficulty. You know, today, you know, I actually watched a German program. I mean, I actually heard that, you know, okay, you know, no, it's really easy. It's never been extremely weak. That's a really ridiculous assumption. You just really want to believe it that way. I've never been actually a weak kind of person who just had a difficulty in terms of actually making a quick translation, because I actually, you know, watched the Gehirn and Anschläge. Immediately I actually said the brain stroke. I actually don't know how to say this in Korean. I don't know. Brain stroke is really similar to aneurysm, and aneurysm is an apoplectic stroke. I don't fucking know how this should be called, and I have no interest in actually knowing how this should be in Korean, because that's none of my business, and I have never wanted to actually deal with this kind of people. I just don't want it. Because, you know what, I really wish, you know, everything should be actually known to everyone. You know, how would you not actually know that? Do you really believe that this is really excuse? If I were truly, you know, embarrassed to reveal my, you know, ignorance, then I could have easily not mentioned anything. Why would you actually drop mango? Have you not actually thought about that? And if you ever actually, you know, read my pupils, what happened? Have I actually, you know, seen this picture really evolve? You know, just several centimeters above the picture of a mangoes. Have I seen them or not? That's a problem. I have a very parochial in my optic view to actually, you know, miss this one. But you know what? If you even actually don't know the word of a pomegranate, doesn't matter, because those pictures are so revealing and telling. No one can actually assume that it would be, you know, like pears or apples, because, you know, one was, you know, the full size, you know, just, you know, complete and thorough, comprehensive illustration of a pomegranate, and the other was, you know, just half cut, showing off, you know, the very ruby-like beads that were like the jewels. Very good for, you know, a female that contains lots of, you know, estrogen in the female hormones, right? So I really actually wanted to have him whenever I actually go to, you know, Germany. I really thought that, because, you know, Germany is really the place where you can actually have a freshly imported Turkish pomegranate. That's what I saw on German documentary. That's called Affogaната, and it's really easy. But the problem is, I didn't really actually see this, but I could never actually forget this, fainty smile on her face, which actually meant everything. Oh, you don't even actually know what this is about. That kind of look, excuse me, if you really don't know what this is called in English, you have a full-blown picture. You have, such a telling and revealing, showing all picture. How would you actually not know it from it? They actually, all together, just like the people who shared this, last name Kim, they had an all similar idea that I